Omomla, Omachami project a good one, I be in a Saturday. Yanyabi 8 years, Yanyabi. Omutimichan project be on Yakuba baby. Project maybe, project Biano, my baby, Omunibi. Go from Macadesi answer question. Get your second because I cost. Be a cost of Santa Region. It sounds a pressure, dead day, to a baby, dead day pressure. Mamma, yes, mamma is in your eye. Be a piano. Untimum town, I can't know for. Open me one. If the mamma and a Santa Mamma, Untimi. They are the crab because my baby has got drawn or yes, get drew. The German was saying 8 years, and would the guitar, and more education, lawyers, Omasa, Omo, man say, as I didn't go to put your mass at my mouth, as I didn't go to Gran or Cohupo, or Cocan crying. MPP, as I didn't go to Cram, no Cohupo, or Cocan crying. Your friend, I'm from put your law one, and a regional, after seeing the bad social media. President, my road minister, and regional minister, almost about 3 months. Well, we share was a good news. This 3 months don't between. Come on, Didier. Dear Mamma, can the oil be done at one soul? That's silence in John Dramani, Mamma. On all kind, I know ye. On can't to her. Or can or Sakas or you. Then I betray him. Then how my will be betrayed, Mamma. Yeah, near Trim. Then I said, the 20 on Betty Fans. He said, yeah, it's not only a tray of home, but about another hole. Yeah, near Trump, but about another hole. A Santa with the Munchen project on Trump. I'm flying him for quoting our coach. So we are original hospital, you have a trouble and no Mukobi. A quiet crying and some could be original hospital. Yanko, Yanko, so a couple of Mumpy and Yanko is a little bit. It depending. That's Santa Maya. There, Santa Maya catches Santa Maya say. MPP, a good Santa, MDC, a good Santa Maya, a good MPP no. MDC for your Santa Regina. You see a good MPP or Santa Maya, a good. Yeah. The member Santa John Ramani, Mamma, obey no Mamma. And the Mamma be a Santa Regina be a obey. Bibia also was that here. Never say me, I can. Mini Panama, Miss Mana Santinino, Miss One and Cran or Comupo, Miss Santinina, Santinino, Como about Cran or Can Cran. As I didn't have put you an arm. A put you an arm anyway, one farm, and I'm on that. The catch Ramo. The catch Ramo, one for your mamma, as I told you, one for your mamma. See more Samansa, Chairman to me, Poliano. Never Poliano, the Cham, I can tell about catches of Tisacusity. I'm back. Utisacusity, Magedi. And some radio secretary as Santa Mamma can I don't get to regional Miss Adasani, I could be a call on your Quenu. And you know, the concrete buzo. So, no, I say, Banfino, Omoni, Omoni Bibiaka, and think I will be because I know static. You buy a way, you go see it. It's all the MPP communicators. On what I do is a man of Moka. Omni Biaka. And I'm a person start contributing no co. Nakamam going in. Nako on your name. Massa. Semino Benya Minumi, and say, Baumia. Sagana, your mind, you prepare about me. Some man going about me, some man. Oh, man, you prepare about me. Baumia, you was about me, some man. Say, Brachap was about me. Brachap was said, over there, Kunyana, or diet 3 bedrooms, and now you don't know my team. They say, over there, Kunyana, what's the damn Akma 50? Baumia. It's not that 3 bedroom and not more. The jet to me as I say, a decade, economist. I want 1 for. Massa, talk of where they own. And you got so about your crime of Natasha. I believe a job for your crime. Ah, Massa, they go for your mamma, my gun had on. Yana Yakuma. Yana Yakuma. I will be master. I am a Tukaba. I am Kotokuom. At Ramponia nearby. I am at Ramponia district.
I work as RCC is to supervise, monitor, coordinate, evaluate, and provide a technical backstop to the MMTs. We cannot do this while seated at Kumasi in our respective offices. We need to be on the field in Lowenda. So that is just by way of informing you that we may come any other day without having to inform you. The second thing is that any assembly that we visit, we decide to visit your washrooms, not the washroom of the DC, but the general washroom. Because when people visit the assembly, the first impression that they may leave with them is how hospitable your working space is. So environmental, central administration, client service, all the units that need to make sure that your public spaces are put in good condition, works. Kindly ensure that that is done. So this year, you have a 20% legacy fund. Make sure as part of the few things you will touch on with the legacy fund, your washroom, not the one in your office, the one for the public, is put in good shape. Having said that, I bring you greetings from His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. ANT and I'm a minister, and ANT and I'm in ADC. Let's see about Bencham. For your hard work to the country, and for that matter, your hard work to the district. And also in appreciation of what you have been doing, supporting his vision in resetting this country, and for that matter, resetting this district. To be able to do this, your welfare is one of the key things that most definitely is paramount to him. I remember some of the districts you visited, issues that came up included your transfer grants, among others. These are all issues that have come up, and we are discussing and making sure that you have your peace of mind so that you will be able to work effectively and efficiently in driving the agenda of the government. Also, for the very first time, His Excellency the President has decided that he needs to resource and equip the assemblies. So those of you who know or who are current, you realize that in time past, governments of the past used to only make available 40% of the district assembly common fund available for the districts. In a very bold decision and in a historic manner, His Excellency the President has made available 80% of the district assembly common fund to be made available directly to the districts for your work. As part of that 80%, you expect that to use 10% for health, 10% for education, 10% for sanitation-related issues, 10% in support of providing water services, i.e. drilling boreholes, mechanized, solar-powered ones, in a minimum of 10. We have also reserved 20% for legacy projects. Projects that were initiated by the previous administration under the assembly that could not be completed. He's expecting that we use 20% of the district assembly common fund in completing sale. The last division is the 25%. When the 80% gets here, you consider it as 100% in the division. So the 25% would be for the establishment of a 24-hour economy model market. And that market should have a police station, a fire station, a women's development bank, a clinic, and also available space for commerce, trade, and then business. So that if you wake up deep in the night and you visit those areas, you know that clearly and most definitely you have almost all the essential services you need within the district. These are the commitments from His Excellency the President at the district assembly level, for which reason we want to make sure that you are empowered. The 5% that is spending is for your administrative works, your pruners, your printers, your fuel, all the things that you need for your administration. Every other thing I did not mention falls directly under the sector ministers. Road function reverts back to road ministry. So you would appreciate the need for which we needed the road minister to help us fix the Kotokuom bridge. Issues of energy falls directly under the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. Health Ministry will be doing more of the big infrastructural drive. Education Ministry and Get Farm Safe, including all the other ministries. However, if the assembly is in need of any essential service, all you do is that you write to me, at the RCC, and I'll coordinate with the respective sectors in making sure that the work is done. These are the key things we are doing as a government, and we expect that you support your honorable MC all you can in making sure that he succeeds. Because if he succeeds, most definitely you have also succeeded. And also to remind you that he has limited time here. We as politicians have 4 years. It's a 4-year mandate. After 4 years, you go back to the people and account to them. If we account to them and it makes sense to them, then they will give us or they will renew our contract. If it doesn't make sense to them, they will show you the exit. For you as civil servants, you have up to 60 years before you fight whether you want to go for pension or you want to do post-pension activity. So you may have the luxury of time. He has limited time. And a very sad note for us as appointees, you will not know when the government or the president will change his mind. So it means that he has to live every minute, every day, making impact. So I want to challenge you that be his guide and his reminder, so that Honorable DC will live every day doing what is expected of him to do, but not postponing them to the previous week or the previous month, not knowing when the president may be calling him to serve in any other office. One key issue to address, then I'll take my seat. Government work is done in line with the laws, the acts, the statutes, and directives as we receive from the various sectors and institutions that are empowered to undertake same. There is a secretariat that coordinates the use of the district road improvement program, the equipment that were made available in those days. The previous government purchased a set of equipment that are expected to be deducted from your district assembly common fund. They are not for free. So every equipment is being paid for by the district. During the 2024 electioneering process, what we realized was that when they are moving from district to district, they move all the equipment, including those that are not expected to be retained at the district, just for the colorful effect and be able to also give a good optics and an appeal. Truthfully, 8 equipments are expected to be at the districts, across all the districts. The additional 2, including the concrete mixture, and then there's an additional one, the roller. All other heavy equipment, i.e. the bulldozer, the reloader, and all those big equipments, are not expected to be at the district level. If you retain them at the district level, then what you're telling us is that we should use your common fund to pay for that, so that it will just be here and other districts may not have access to see. You know the quantum of common fund that you receive, and if you have to pay for a reloader, you can imagine that you are not going to get anything for your activities as an assembly. We crossed number 8 and paid the first quarter of the district assembly common fund. However, the second quarter payment has delayed because of the equipment that were retained over here. We understand clearly that there were a lot of misconceptions and misunderstandings covering this. Thankfully, we've been able to engage the traditional authorities, i.e. the Nkosohene Traditional Council, and explain to them the need for which we need to retain these. There are 20, together with the low beds. The low beds are to help us transport them anywhere that we need these equipment and their services. So when you write to us, you transport them, you use them for your work, you bring them back to the pool. If any other district needs them, you transport same to them, so that they equally have access to these equipment and use them. Again, when you are requesting, so that one district will not take captive of these equipment, you state and indicate clearly the number of days that you require the services of these equipment, so that those who would default and those who may not want to return, definitely the Secretariat will know how to handle such difficult districts. So we have engaged the traditional leaders in the presence of some assembly members. Here as assembly staff, we need to equally let you know, I'm sure most of you may be aware already, But we need to re-echo and emphasize that there's a need to return the equipment back to the RCC. We need that cooperation so that the second quarter payments may not delay, and also other districts may have an opportunity to use these equipment. All other equipment will not move from the districts. I.e. the 8+2 that I mentioned, they will all be stationed here. They are your bona fide properties or equipment, for which reason you will be paying from your common fund. So they are not moving an inch. However, the two big ones would have to be recalled to the RCC for the use of other districts. Having mentioned that, the seized excavators from the activities of illegal mining, those that we have sent to court and the court has duly confiscated for government, they are equally available for the sorting exercises in some of your drains, together with any other construction works that the assembly may need for. The caveat is that when you receive these equipments, you do not want us to find you with them at any Galamsey site. That one will be a grave offense, for which reason you may stand prosecution. So they are equally available, and you make them available to the districts, especially for your desalting exercise, for the big drains, and for other areas where you may need construction. I know here is a mining community, so I need to mention this. His Excellency the President declared a no-go zone for our forest reserves and our river bodies. These are our top priority areas so far as illegal mining is concerned. And also to mention those who mine by the roadside, mine under bridges, mine in cemeteries, and mine in rural settlements. These are all areas that we don't want to see any mining activity going on. All other areas, aside these areas that I have mentioned, the government has made provision through the cooperative mining program. That cooperative mining program puts together miners who do not have the capacity to be licensed, so that we will be able to support them. So in groups of 5, in groups of 10, the government provides them license and other documentation and capacity, so that they will be able to mine well and mine peacefully. If they are able to mine in an area, let's say if we designate this area for them for their mining activities, what we expect is that as they mine, they should be able to reclaim the land, so that the land is not left desolate as we see by the various communities. Once they're able to do it and do it well, we will definitely give them additional concessions, so that they will be able to at least embark on the activities that give them their daily work. This is an opportunity provided by the government, so that any miner can do it rightfully and legally without any interference whatsoever from any law enforcement agency. Anyone who wants to fit into the model of the government definitely will move along with you. Anyone who wants to take the law into their own hands and do otherwise, definitely we will come after you, and we will not allow you to destroy our water bodies and our forests for that matter. So the president is not against mining. The president is not against mining, but he is in to ensure that we do so in a very responsible manner that protects the environment and protects our river bodies. Again, we have given an opportunity for companies and groups who want to help the government reclaim the land do so under their corporate social responsibilities. So we have given out some forms to the district assemblies, so that any of these companies within the district who want to help us reclaim any of these parcel of lands that have been damaged can come to the district assembly. They will pick the forms, they will fill. We will let a team from MENCOM, EPA, and then forestry, if it's within forestry, forest reserve, come inspect the land, keep records of the state of the land as and when that land was handed over to them, and monitor their progress, so that we'll be able to reclaim most of these lands as we provide other alternatives through the cooperative mining. Here is a mining community, so I think that it's better we get to understand these issues so that the miners will not come to you as though we are preventing them from mining. So I want to thank you for this opportunity of being part of this meeting. I'm sure when I sit, I'll give you an opportunity to ask some few questions, following which we will visit some key government projects, both abandoned, ongoing, and new ones that this government seeks to embark on. But this said, I want to thank you all for your kind attention.